Another day, another return. Let's see what this is about.
Hey, I've been using this for weeks, and it works, but why do we only need a tiny amount?
So I've been down here.
Yo, what's up, JJ? Alright, y'all, bro. We got some reaction videos. You know, so I was gonna make these into YouTube videos, but I was like, let's stream a couple of them right now, bro, and then I'm gonna call it a night. This one really piqued my interest. Mr. Nightmare, 3 true scary stories with actual video footage. Now, I think I watched these before. One of these or some video like this. I don't think I ever reacted to it on stream. Maybe I did. Maybe I reacted to it and I just I forgot the video. But like, I do remember watching this. And these are more terrifying, bro. Why? Because the story that's being told to you, you no longer have to like visualize and picture a scenario happening. You know the story is then in turn true, which everything that they said inside the story is like then took place, and there's video proof where you can be there experiencing the fear with the person. That's what I think is super creepy about this stuff. So I think he did something similar in the past. Yes, he did. This one just came out yesterday. Oh, so it's a new one. I didn't realize this was a new one. Okay, so Mr. Nightmare, bro. You know what I'm saying? Huge shout out to Mr. Nightmare, bro. Actually haven't seen it yet myself, so we reacted to it for the first time together. Fantastic. So let's check it out, man. This is the beginning of the video, bro. Let's get into this thing, man.
So I've been down here for a few minutes now.
Just found this little clearing, so...
What the fuck? Who the fuck is that? Hell no. Alright, story 1, L. By yall.
This story from a couple years ago is without a doubt one of the most horrifying things that has ever happened to me. It's one of those stories that makes me think in retrospect that I'm lucky to be sitting down writing this. I say that because it wasn't until hours later that I realized just how lucky I was.
Okay.
I'll try my best to tell this story, but please go easy on me. I'm not a writer, and I always hated writing in school. I'm sharing this story as a reminder that you never know who could be out there in the world with dark intentions.
That's true.
A few months before the incident I'm about to describe, I moved to a quiet, mostly rural area. I don't love the hustle and bustle of the city, so to be in a quiet neighborhood with not a lot going on was ideal for me. It didn't take me long to get acquainted with the surrounding area, specifically the forests around my new neighborhood. The area I lived was heavily wooded. There were forests and paths everywhere to hike. Practically right outside my door was a path that led deep into the woods.
Damn.
I spent weeks exploring the forest and finding new paths.
Nice.
One day when I was hiking, I found a little path that ended up leading to a legitimate path from a local park near my house. It's not a state park or anything like that, just some kind of local nature reserve where you can park and hike. I thought it was cool that I had my own little private path leading to this park.
Cool.
So every Saturday, I would wake up early and hike in the woods around my house. I would try to find new areas of the woods I hadn't been to. At some point during the day, I would make my way to the public park trails, head to the public restroom there, rest on the benches if I needed a break, and then head back through the woods to get back to my house.
These are the only shoes built for 3 on, 4 off rotations. Look at your shoes right now. I did that last
Break, and then head back through the woods to get back to my house. Whenever I would find a cool, new area in the woods, I would record a little video. Nothing crazy, almost just like a little video diary to talk about where I was and just how I was feeling. These videos were just for me. I didn't post them online. It wasn't about views or anything like that. I just wanted to document my travels and one day put them all together in a video for myself. I'd found some truly amazing places on some of my travels. One time I found this little waterfall, and the waterfall fell into this creek. The water in the creek continued to flow down this hill. It felt almost dreamlike the way it looked, and this creek was just hidden in the middle of the woods. It felt like it was my little secret. The place I found on the day of this story was nothing special. I'd been hiking for a while, and I found this clearing in the woods. There was a small swamp there, and I found it kind of peaceful. Even though it wasn't this amazing gem like the creek, it still felt peaceful to me. I remember feeling uncomfortable that day when I was walking through the woods. I didn't know why. I just had that bad feeling. I felt on edge. Every sound I heard in the woods made me tense up. I had walked these woods so many times at this point, and I never felt like this before. So when I got to the swampy clearing and felt that moment of peace, it just felt nice. I pulled out my phone to record a video. I recorded a video that lasted maybe a few seconds describing the area and how I was feeling. As soon as I was done recording and taking in the area, I started making my way to the public trails. Eventually, after making it to the trails, I made my way to the public restrooms. As I walked out of the bathroom, this man in a black hoodie, purple hat, and sunglasses came right up to me and said, "Hey there." He said it with a lot of confidence, almost like he knew me. I said hi back politely, if not a little surprised. He made some weird joke about us almost bumping into each other, and I just laughed awkwardly and walked away. As I was walking away, I could hear him following me. I turned around, and he waved and said, "Looks like we're going to hit the same trail." I smiled, but I was feeling major creep vibes from this guy. I told him I was actually waiting for someone, and I was just stretching. He nodded and said okay, and continued walking several feet. Then he turned around again, walked back toward me, and asked if I could help him. He said that his car was messed up and that he needed help getting it going. He said he knew how, but his hands were too big, and he asked if I could use my small fingers to pop the hood.
Fuck no.
According to him, his
does that even sound right, bro? Your finger's too big to pop the hood. What car are you driving, bro, where there are buttons in the car and there's buttons outside of the vehicle where it's usually a latch. I've never heard of someone's finger being too big to find a button to open the... Nah, bro. This nigga trying to murder you, bro.
Our hood sticks.
He trying to decapitate you,
small
bro.
fingers to pop it enough so he could open it. It seemed weird and sketchy to me.
It is.
I made a comment about how he just said he was taking the same path as me, and now he wants my help with his car instead.
That's weird, right?
Then I doubled down on the statement that I was waiting for someone, which wasn't true. He laughed and said he was going to take that path to get to the car, even though the parking lot was in the other direction. My creep meter was overflowing at this point, and I considered just going into the bathroom, locking the door, and calling someone to pick me up.
Do that.
I didn't know if this guy was just trying to get my number and he was just bad at talking to women, or if he was an actual creep. Thankfully, this couple walked by, and I walked right up to the woman and greeted her as if I were an old friend. The woman was confused at first, but she took one look at my face, and I think she realized what was going on.
Okay, fire.
The creepy guy started to linger awkwardly for a second. It was like he was trying to see if I was bluffing. I started making small talk with the couple, even going as far as to ask them how their parents are doing. A minute or so passed, and the creep started walking in the direction of the parking lot. When he was out of earshot, I thanked the woman and her boyfriend for playing along and told them that this guy was just standing outside the bathroom waiting for me.
Nigga, go with them.
Leave me alone. I know I didn't directly tell him to leave me alone, but come on, read the room. Not to mention, he was giving off major creep vibes, And me being alone in the woods, I just wasn't taking any chances.
Why are you alone in the woods in the first place, bro? Like, that's my whole thing. Like, you already know how bad it is, bro, for people in general. It doesn't even matter if you're female, but, you know, that's even worse on you, bro, because you're female. You got creepy-ass dudes just be lurking. Even for a dude, just being out there in the woods with no type of protection, it's just a bad news idea. People getting robbed in broad daylight. In broad daylight. You being a chick, bro, with all the crazy stuff that's going on. I understand you enjoy your trails and stuff like that, but if you don't like, I don't know, maybe like find a gun or something like that, or have some type of protection, you're going by yourself. And then once you ran to these people and use them as a scapegoat, you should continue to like go with, like, can y'all walk me to my car, please? Or say, walk me back home. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, bro.
I watched the man get into a small red sedan. I believe it was a red Chevy Cruze, and then he drove away. They offered to call the police, but I told them that was okay.
Bro.
The couple stayed with me for a little bit, made sure I was okay, and that the Purple Hat Man didn't come back. Then we went our separate ways.
Nigga.
They did insist on driving me home, but I told them that was okay. I'd rather walk since I didn't live that far. I practically ran back to my house that afternoon. It was such a weird day. From that horrible feeling when I was hiking to the creep of the bathroom, I just couldn't wait to get home and relax with a glass of wine. Unfortunately, my relaxing night was about to shatter. I started going through the pictures and the video from that hike, and something caught my eye in the video. I played it again, and my heart stopped.
Just found this little clearing, so
that's the girl.
Probably gonna head back to the bathroom here in a minute and head home.
The dig was in the background.
Of the video, just in the tree line.
The nigga was in the background. You saw that?
While I was talking, giving my hike
this
update,
nigga was
you could see his purple hat and black hoodie just over my shoulder.
Crazy. He was
the same man from outside the bathroom. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should call the police or not.
I started
to freak out thinking about...
This is why, I'm gonna let you know, this is why people and females are so scared of rejecting dudes, and this is why females are like scared of interacting with dudes, bro. Y'all make it so bad for the rest of us, bro. If I ever want to pull up on a chick and just honestly have a conversation with her and I think she's pretty, y'all ruined it because y'all weirdos, bro. Y'all are weirdos, and rightfully so. Now I completely understand why females be freaked out, bro. Like, dead ass. I completely understand why they would be jumpy and feeling off. Because a random dude walks up when y'all doing weird shit like this. You're lurking in the background. Creepy ass dude, you can't talk to her. Okay, let's say you saw her from afar, bro. You really trying to hit on her, bro. You really like her. Like, bro, if you don't, like, find a way to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't stalk her. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he gave off weird vibes because that's what he's on. This man is probably a serial killer, bro. I'm telling you, bro. He got to be, because there's no way this nigga's in the background of the video chilling like that. And he mean it.
The man. How long had he been following me?
He been following you. You pay attention to that?
But most terrifying to me was that I had no idea what he intended to do.
It was probably something
Clearly was trying to follow me back into the woods. And then when I stopped, he wanted me to join him at his car. The same car that was supposedly broken, even though he got right in and drove away.
Facts.
Once I started adding up the pieces, I called the police department and reported everything. The police searched the area and conducted a little investigation, but as far as I know, they never caught the guy. I never hiked alone after that, and I moved away about a year after this happened.
That makes sense.
I hate that I don't even know that couple's name because they honestly probably saved my life.
They did.
Be careful out there, my friends, because you never know who's out there, lurking just behind you, waiting for the perfect moment. Thankfully, that purple hat guy never got his moment, and I hope he never does.
Thank you.
I found the video from that day and attached it to the story.
Okay.
On its own, the video may seem harmless, but once you know all the details, this short clip becomes a nightmare.
It is. And the crazy part is, y'all, the crazy part is
has over 15,000 retro games on it. It's kind of,
you know what's crazy? She could she could have easily been like a 6 o'clock news story, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And people like, because you don't even know people, bro. You know how many times where you can look on the news or look on some like online site and it's like somebody got kidnapped and murdered and they just show a picture of somebody? She could have been just a photo on the 9 o'clock news, bro. And nobody, because she's out there with no family, no friends. She has no weapons. You know what I'm saying? Anything could have happened to that woman, bro. It's crazy work.
But once you know all the details, this short clip becomes a nightmare.
That's crazy. AC, next story.
So this is probably the wildest thing that's ever happened to me. And to make it even more insane, I can't believe I actually caught it on video.
Ooh.
Let me set the stage. My friend Ron and his wife Tina had just bought this new house. This was probably like 4 years ago, I think. At first, everything seemed amazing for them. A nice little house in a safe and quiet neighborhood. A few months after moving into the house, I met up with Ron for some drinks, and I asked him how the new house was treating him. He started acting a little weird. When I continued to press him on the house, he finally caved in and told me what was bothering him.
What?
He and Tina were convinced that the house was haunted. I can be kind of a jerk sometimes, and I started to laugh as soon as he told me. I asked him why he thought his house was haunted, and then he gave me the entire story. For starters, apparently someone did die in the house, something the real estate agent did in fact disclose before they bought the house. So this wasn't a surprise, and it's what actually made the house cheaper for them to purchase.
That's not good.
Because of that little bit of information, Ron and Tina had convinced themselves that the ghost of this dead person was haunting their house. I'm not a believer in ghosts or anything else paranormal. It's just not my thing. I'm not a horror or true crime fan. That's probably why I always dismiss people when they start talking about spirits or anything like that. I started pressing Ron a little more. I said to him that just because someone died in the house, it doesn't mean that it's haunted. He continued to give me more of the story. He told me that every night, he and Tina wake up at some random hour. There are strange noises that seem to come from everywhere in the house. He insisted that it wasn't just the pipes or the house settling. He said it was like something bumping into furniture and moving around.
Yeah, somebody living in
They would wake up in the morning and furniture would be slightly moved.
Yeah.
Things that were on the counter would be misplaced or moved completely.
Somebody living in your attic.
Ron said that on one occasion, he left his favorite Miami Dolphins coffee mug on the counter, and in the morning, it was gone. They searched everywhere in the kitchen, and it was just gone. Ron claimed that he didn't think it was anything paranormal at this point. He was still just weirded out by everything. And all the strange events must have just been some kind of weird coincidence.
You not investigating?
That all changed a few nights before Ron decided to tell me this story. Just like several nights prior, he and Tina woke up in the middle of the night. It sounded like a crash coming from the basement. Wanting answers, he went down to investigate, even though he was terrified. The basement is loaded with boxes and storage, so he said it was impossible to be able to tell if anything had just fallen over. Apparently, while he was down in the basement, something moved in the corner of the room, and Ron ran out of there so fast and hadn't gone back since.
Nigga, you not...
He started calling all these strange things happening in the house paranormal activity, like the movie.
Nigga.
And just like in the movie...
It's a nigga activity. It's a dude up in there eating y'all food and running around, bro. Probably was a squatter in the building, bro, trying to get free rent, bro. And you not calling it out, like, bro, wait till, bro, he even wait till, like, a box gets thrown at him, and, like, he sees it's an invisible force. He's not even setting up cameras. This nigga immediately went to paranormal activity. No, nigga, it's a nigga in that bitch, bro.
He was terrified that if he kept antagonizing it, things would get worse. All of this seemed ridiculous to me. I was trying not to laugh because I could clearly see that Ron was upset. I was politely trying to remind him that paranormal activity is just a movie, and you can't antagonize something that's made up. That set him off. He was well aware of how he sounded, and that was part of the reason he was so upset. He knew this sounded crazy, and yet he hadn't slept well in weeks. Now he's terrified to sleep at his own house. He even told me that he and Tina had slept at a hotel the last 2 nights.
Nigga.
They didn't want to sleep in the house.
You spending money on a hotel, bro, because you're too scared? Nigga, if you don't get a Glock, if you don't get a fucking, bro, if you don't get an SMG, a fucking shotgun, if you don't lock your doors at night, bro, if you don't get some security cameras, are you broke? You got the house for dirt cheap, didn't you? Invest in some security cameras. And see what the security monitors pick up, bro, inside your house before you start jumping. This nigga immediately spending money outside, bro. It couldn't be me, dog. I'm talking about the other night, y'all. the other night cooked. The other night, bro. The other night, I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? So I got a bad habit. My sleep schedule is screwed. My sleep schedule, like right now, let's say I'll in stream. I'll go to sleep right now at 11 o'clock my time. Right? I just in stream 11 o'clock my time. I fall asleep. I'm gonna wake up at like 3 a.m. and I'll stay up till like maybe 5 a.m. bro. Within that time period, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening to everything. It's just not the other night, bro. I like fell asleep early, right? Woke up, you know what I'm saying? I was up from like 2 something till I don't know, like 5 a.m. All right. Bro, when I tell you I heard a noise in the kitchen, bro. The kitchen is like 2 rooms away from me. So if I go out this right door right here, you know what I'm saying? If I go out this door right here, then it's the living room, and then you can go right into the kitchen. If I go through this door over here, that means I can go through this door, other room, and I go to the kitchen. I heard this boom boom in the kitchen. Now I get up because I'm listening to YouTube. I'm watching a YouTube video. I get up and I stop the YouTube video, and I kind of sit there for a minute to see like, what was that sound? Now I also know that they have cats. I have stray cats all around my house, and the motherfuckers be running and fighting with each other underneath the house and hitting pipes and shit. So I was just like, these must have been the pipes. Tell me why not even 5 seconds later, my people came and opened my door. They was up because my people's sleep schedule is screwed. They stay up late, up all night watching TVs and just saying different Netflix stuff, and then they'll sleep all day during the day. Bro, tell me why they came in there like 5 seconds later. Did you hear what that sound? What this sound was? I thought you dropped something. I said that wasn't me. They came in the kitchen. They immediately went to investigate, bro. So you don't be leaving stuff high and dry like that. This dude tripping.
Until they could figure out a rational solution to this absurd problem.
You don't let
He was practically in tears trying to explain this to me. He said it was like an extreme phobia. Ever since he went into the basement, he's convinced himself that something is down there, and he said he's physically unable to go downstairs.
Nigga, it's a nigga.
I still couldn't tell if Ron was pulling a prank on me or if he was serious about all this. Even as I write this, I'm shocked all over again that Ron and Tina thought their house was haunted. This just seemed so irrational to me. I was starting to feel bad for Ron. He was so upset, he could barely get the words out now. Because I thought this was ridiculous, I offered to check the basement for Ron thoroughly.
Thank you.
I told them that they just need to calm down a little bit and come to their senses. I said I would check every corner of the basement and make sure no ghouls are present, and that whatever noises and weirdness they're experiencing can be explained somehow in some way.
Basement.
He was hesitant at first because he thought my being there might antagonize the spirit, but I shut that down quickly.
In the basement.
I remember Tina fighting with Ron on the phone after this because she didn't want me to check it out. She was 100% convinced that this was paranormal in nature, and I, along with both of them, would be in trouble if I went and looked in the basement.
Nigga, what?
After the call, Ron said he would drive me to the house, but he was going to wait outside, and that we couldn't tell Tina.
That's crazy.
I was a little sketched out by that, but I wanted more than anything to prove to them that nothing was down in
How
their
did
basement.
your friend have to do this?
When we got to the house, Ron begged me one more time not to antagonize the spirit, just in case. I just nodded and walked into the house. Me being me, I fully intended to antagonize the imaginary ghosts to prove that they don't exist. Before going into the basement, I walked around the house, and nothing seemed weird or out of the norm, other than a nasty odor. And before anyone starts to think that the odor was like demonic in nature or whatever, it wasn't that kind of odor. It was like body odor. Finally, I went into the basement. It was a mess. There were boxes everywhere. After looking around for a second, I started shouting for the ghosts to appear. And just like you may expect, there were no ghosts or any other paranormal events happening. I was about to leave, and then I decided to have a little fun at Ron's expense before leaving.
You thought it was a joke.
I pulled out my phone and started recording a little video. I was recording in selfie mode just because I was only going to show this video to Ron as a joke. I made a comment in the video about how there aren't any ghosts, and as you can see, there's nothing but storage down here. I turned around and lifted the camera a little bit to show the storage over my shoulder, and as I did that, I thought I saw something weird in the corner of the screen. So I moved the camera back a little bit, and sitting right there was some creepy old guy. Not a ghost or demon, but a sickly old man.
Jump scare,
I wish I'd continued recording, but out of instinct, I just turned it off and ran.
So I've been down here for a few minutes now, and
of course he's white. I'm sorry, there's no racial, bro. I apologize. This is just some white people shit. Of course, this dude is on some white people shit. I know this ain't no black person not going to check out the house, and then he going to his friend going, bro, like, there's no fucking way, bro.
Seen any ghosts, monsters, or any paranormal activity at all. Nothing except all of your useless storage down here. Oh my.
Oh, hell no. Oh,
What
hell
if you
no.
could bring your own Netflix
Yo,
and Hollywood
do you see how
blockbuster
quick
movies
he
to
was like,
life
oh,
with
hell
US
no.
Oh my god.
He's like, oh, he's like, oh my god. Dude, nah, but you see how, nah, let's rewind it. Look, bro. Look how he was super comfortable, bro, talking heavy trash. Oh, there's nothing paranormal. Everything's good. No monsters. Nigga is an old man sitting there, bro. He immediately flipped out. Oh, hell no. Get the fuck out of here. Look at this.
Monsters or any paranormal
Look how
activity
quick
at all.
he, oh, hell no.
Nothing except all of your useless storage down here. Oh my god.
Oh, hell no. You would have shit yourself. It's an old dude, JJ. This old ass man, he hiding from him. What are you scared for, bro? This nigga's like he's young. Bro, this dude's a young, probably 20-something-year-old. If he don't run over and drop kick this old feeble man in his teeth, knock his gums loose, what are we talking about?
When I got upstairs, I slammed the basement door and held it shut. I heard the old man screaming on the other side of the door. The scream was more of a painful wailing. I continued to hold the door shut with one hand and called Ron with the
Call the
other.
police.
When he answered,
His old
I
ass.
blurted out that he needed to call the police because there was a man in his house. Not a monster or a ghost, a man.
Got no clue what he got.
While this was happening,
He gonna get drop
the
kicked.
man made his way to the basement door and tried opening it as I was holding it shut. I started yelling at him, and he just kept screaming. Then the screaming turned to him repeatedly saying no, 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 over and over again. It probably took like 10 minutes for the police to show up.
Yeah,
I tried to
going
hold
to
the door
jail.
for the entire wait. And I kid you not, this guy tried opening the door the entire time. As soon as I heard the police cars
Get your
roll
old
up,
ass in
I let
jail.
go of the door, and the man busted through it. I should have waited until the police were in the house.
Yeah, you should have.
There was a moment when I was standing face to face with this old man.
Clip him.
He was clearly insane. His eyes looked almost plastic. He screamed in my face so loudly that it knocked me over, and then he ran out the back door of the house.
Are you serious?
I tried chasing him, but the old guy was deceivingly fast.
Nick.
I started yelling for the cops, who were just now jogging through the house with no urgency whatsoever.
And then the cops have no urgency. Y'all niggas suck. Y'all niggas suck. Sir, all you have to do, bro, you went down there talking about paranormal activity. You caught the nigga, you caught him in the camera feed. All you had to do is hold the door until the police comes and say, he's here, officer. Let go of the door and let them do themselves. Why did he open the door and let the man come through, bro? And then the old man gonna run off, bro. If they don't catch this old man, I blame this stupid dude that was on camera, bro, filming it. I blame him, bro. It's the cops don't have to, and the cops need to be moving with urgency. That's the crazy part. The cops need to be moving with urgency, but still, bro, he was dumb enough to like not hold the door.
I told them that the guy ran out the back door, and I didn't see which direction he went. The cops looked for a bit, but couldn't find the guy.
I hate him.
Ron called Tina and told her what happened.
I hate him so much.
She was angry at first, but then just in shock over everything. We went into the basement to check everything out after that. The awful smell was clearly the body odor of this man. In the corner of the basement was a small pillow and a little blanket. The smell was the worst over there.
It was just squatting, bro.
Also next to the blanket was Ron's Miami Dolphins mug. I gave the cops the video, and I don't think they caught the guy. At least not to my knowledge.
So the nigga can just come back to the house?
After all this, Ron told me that before this happened, Tina never locked the doors. She grew up in a...
Oh my God. Y'all deserve to get murdered. I'm sorry. I apologize. Dude, I apologize. I don't know what area y'all feel so comfortable in where y'all niggas don't lock y'all doors. I have never heard of that. Even when I was a kid growing up. I hate when motherfuckers say that. There's no way. I don't care if you live next to the most nicest people in the world growing up. Your cousins, your brothers, your sisters. Y'all all live next door, across the street. I don't lock my doors. We all comfortable. We're in a nice neighborhood. No, nigga. You don't know who's in your neighborhood. Somebody could be faking nice. These niggas could be serial killers underneath. Somebody could just be jogging by your house and think, these niggas rich. Let me just walk in. oh, I live in a nice neighborhood. Man, you don't know who's associating with who. She allowed that to come in her home because this man was homeless, was looking for a place to lay his head, and you had the doors wide open. So guess what? At 3 in the morning, this old bastard came in there, snuck in y'all house, and been living in y'all shit. Eating y'all food and all types of shit, bro.
Nice neighborhood, and since this was also a nice neighborhood, she didn't think anything horrible could happen.
You didn't think?
Either one day while they were at work, or in the middle of the night when they were sleeping, this man just walked into their home.
That's it.
Now she checks the locks about 5 times before going to bed.
No security cameras.
It just goes to show you that no matter how nice an area you live in, if you leave the door unlocked, you'll always be inviting unwanted strangers into your house.
This nigga really filmed it. He was like, yo, I'm up in here, bro. No ghosts or nothing like that. Nigga in the background. Oh,
Imagine
man.
never brushing your retainer again. Just water and the touch of a button.
Hey, bro. Hey, shout out to him,
Outdated
though.
cleaning methods
Real talk.
have
Shout out to him for even, like, you know what I'm saying, going into the house and check it out because the
About
friend
a
was too
month
bitch
ago,
made to do it.
I was asked to house and dog sit for my boss. It was only for a few days, and his dog Max was the easiest and most chill dog ever.
What's up,
Not
bro?
to mention, my boss is rich, and I needed the money.
Is that you, Nate?
So this job was an easy yes to make some extra money on the side. One thing that sucks about me is that I struggle to sleep when I'm not at home. I won't use the word insomniac, but it sometimes feels like that. I guess it could be nerves, but I don't know. I just don't sleep well when I'm not in my own bed. Being proactive and knowing I was going to stay up late, I brought over my Nintendo Switch. I decided I was finally going to play the remake of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. That was all I did almost the entire first night. The next night, I took Max outside for a late-night walk a little after 10 p.m. I walked him just around the neighborhood a little bit. While I was walking back, I thought I saw someone standing by the boss's house. I slowed down and tried to squint the best I could, but it was just too dark to tell.
Fears of fathom.
As I got closer, I didn't see anyone. The darkness will always play tricks on your eyes, especially if you're somewhere you're unfamiliar with. I got back inside and started playing my game. It was about 1 a.m., and I remembered that I had left my charger for my phone in the car. I went outside to grab it, and a few houses down, just standing outside, was a person. They weren't doing anything objectively wrong or scary. It was just weird that someone dressed in all black was standing outside at 1 in the morning. Even if they were walking, it wouldn't have been as weird. It was only because they were standing there that it was weird. Ultimately, I ignored it. My thought process was that it was just someone who lived in the house over there, and he just happened to be outside at the same time as me. Maybe he was looking at the stars. After all, I was also outside at 1 in the morning. I went inside and continued playing the game for about 2 more hours.
Lock the doors.
I shut the game off and started scrolling on my phone. I thought I kept hearing this noise, and it was starting to annoy me. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but it sounded like it may have been a tree branch rubbing against the house, or maybe even an animal. The noise was making me anxious for some reason. I think it was because I didn't know what it was, and I wanted to. I got off the couch and looked out the window in the living room. I jumped back as soon as I looked outside, because a person was running away from the window. I got up and ran to the other window, and by the time I got to the window and looked, nobody was there. My adrenaline was pumping. I was trying to process what reason someone would have to be creeping near the house.
To rob it?
I contemplated calling the police, but I decided not to. Call me crazy, but I just didn't feel that threatened for some reason. It wasn't like the person was trying to break into the window. The person was close to the window, yes, but when I looked, he was running away. I realized there isn't a way for me to put this that doesn't make me look like an incompetent idiot for not calling someone. Even if this person wasn't trying to break in, they were still trespassing and clearly up to no good.
Clearly.
But I'm an idiot, and I just let it go.
The
next day, I called my boss and told him about the weird visitor the previous night. Believe it or not, he was even less bothered than I was.
That's crazy.
He told me that in the neighborhood behind his house is a bunch of houses where young teenagers live. He told me that they cut through his yard all the time, and one time he even caught a few of the kids looking into his house windows.
It's not
He
normal.
claimed they were harmless, but it still gave me an uneasy feeling.
It's not normal, sir.
I didn't care if they were just kids. I wasn't trying to get spied on. That night, I decided to take Max for another walk. This time, it was a little later. We went at 11 instead of 10. When I was coming back to the house, I was looking for any signs of a person, and just like the night before, I thought I saw someone standing right by the house. Instead of slowing down, this time I started to speed up. As I got closer, it was definitely a person standing outside my boss's house. When I was close, I saw the person run behind the house. I brought the dog inside the house and then ran back outside, trying to scare whoever was messing with me. I went to the backyard and looked around with a flashlight, but I didn't see anyone. I looked all around the outside of the house for several minutes, and I saw nobody. This started to feel a lot like teenagers trying to mess with me. Like, this was totally something I could see teenagers doing. I was thinking that my boss was right. I went back inside and made sure everything was locked. I didn't think I was in danger, but I wasn't going to take any chances. A few hours later, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I decided to look out the window in the front of the house. Sure enough, someone was standing outside. Not right outside the window or anything. They were under the street light that was on the grassy median across the street from the house.
Okay.
I just watched the person for a few minutes. It was weird. The person didn't move at all. They were just standing there looking in the direction of my boss's house. I still didn't know if this was a teenager playing a prank. If it was a joke, it was a weird one. I didn't see anyone else around, so I couldn't imagine the joke's payoff would be good. Then I made probably the single dumbest move I've ever made in my life. I went outside and started shouting at this person, trying to get some kind of reaction. Nothing crazy. I was just saying hello and asking if I could help them with something.
Why?
They still didn't move. After that, I announced to them that I was going to start recording them. I just wanted my boss to believe me. That's why I decided to record the person.
What?
I started recording and tried to focus on the person. It was dark, so I couldn't see that well. While I was recording, with no warning, the person started to charge after me. This wasn't a light jog either.
I would think so.
This person was hauling fast after me.
Still in the blank spike bullshit. Look how close he is. Do you see how close he is filming this?
Saying this.
Nah, he
Do
wanna
not buy
die.
Carpe on Amazon. Do not buy Carpe.
There's no way
on
he, bro. Look how close he was, y'all. Look, this is before he zoomed in. Look how
He started
close
to
he
charge
was.
after me. This wasn't
Nigga,
a
how
light
bold
jog
are you?
either.
You don't have a
This
shotgun
hauling
on you,
fast
bro.
after me.
Look at this, bro. This is literally me recording like right here, and the dude he has to be within the same room of me. Y'all can't see my room right now, but he's literally in the same distance for him to even try to. He zoomed in. This is not even zoomed in. I can see this man. I can't see him clearly, but like, why are you this close to the person? If you already walked out the house, which was dumb, because you don't have a knife or nothing on you. You already walked out the house, bro. And you try to confront them. You have no weapon on you, none of that junk. You ask them about this and that. They're not answering. Leave it alone and go. This nigga gonna record him and then zoom in on his shit. He has no weapon to defend himself. He has no, bro. I mean, if at least he would have came out with a gun and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna put 2 bullet holes in your head. You keep messing with me." I'm like, okay, that's some cool. Okay, he kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? He's standing on 10 toes business. No, he just walked out there. This man is clearly disturbed. He's under the street lamp. He's not moving a muscle. This man is covered from head to toe. So you don't see his facial expressions or none of that. He's out at 1 a.m. This dude is out. He's not doing anything good. I'm talking about it's all bad, bro, for this guy. No wonder he ran straight for it. And the way this man ran at you, bro, I can't believe this. You survived this.
I started to run away. I didn't mean to stop recording, but I did.
The second he started moving.
I ran back inside and locked the door. I looked out the window, and I didn't see anyone. I waited for 10 minutes.
If
I
you
still
call the
didn't see
police?
anything. I walked away from the door and sat in a chair in the dining room just to process what happened.
Call the police and show
I
them the
still
video.
didn't know if this was a real attack or not. While I was sitting there, the doorbell rang. I didn't move or say anything.
That's his cousin.
The doorbell rang again, and I still didn't move.
Actually, might be
I
stupid.
heard them try to open the door once,
Fact.
but thankfully it was locked. After they tried to open the door, I heard a calm and rational voice say, "Have a good night." I didn't know what was happening here, and between the chase and this experience at
Call
the
the
door,
police.
I was
It doesn't
completely
matter what's
paralyzed. I didn't want to call the police, but
Why?
eventually I did. Even with the video, the cop was confident that nothing could be done.
Yeah, you can't
The
do
cop was a
nothing.
nice guy, and he promised to keep a squad car in the area for the rest of the night in case this person came back.
That's all you can do.
He showed my boss the video when he came back, and he looked sick. Right away, he said that person was not one of the teenagers.
You
He
think
didn't know who it was or have any idea who it
he
could
was
be.
charged?
The most likely answer is that it was just some wicked person out in the night who happened to see I was outside one night, and for whatever reason, this person just decided that they were going to terrorize me. So far, as of me writing this, my boss told me that he has not had anyone show up to the house.
So it
has
was
nothing
just,
weird to report.
I heard that.
He even bought ring cameras for the front and a motion camera for the back of his house, just in case.
I would hope you.
What bothers me the most is that I have no idea why this happened, and I never will. Why would someone just randomly target me? Some people I talk to think this was just an elaborate prank, but I don't think so. Who would risk getting arrested for a prank like this?
I don't know.
In that few-minute window of being chased and having him come on the front doorstep, I felt like my life was in real danger. Prank or not, this is something I'll never forget.
Bro, I don't know, bro. You bold as fuck in the first place. There's no way in fuck I'm going out. I'm not fucking going out without no weapons and confront somebody at 1 in the fucking morning, asking you, what do you need? This man's staying there still, bro. He's purposely not talking to you. This man has nothing good. Whatever, bro. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Alright, let's go to the next video. Next video. Alright.
I have completely abandoned ChatGPT. It just keeps failing me time after time after time, and I just can't.
On the evening of June 2nd, 2000.
Okay, disturbing last scene footage of murder victims. Why are we watching crazy shit like this? That's a real question, bro. Why?
18-year-old Kelsey Smith went shopping alone. She had just graduated from high school 9 days earlier and wanted to buy a 6-month anniversary present for her boyfriend, John. However, what was meant to be a quick, uneventful shopping trip instead turned into a tragedy. Though nothing seemed out of place at first, Kelsey left her home in Overland Park, Kansas at around 6:30 p.m. and reached the Target near Oak Park Mall without any trouble about 30 minutes later. She even called her mother shortly after arriving at the store to ask where she could find gift boxes. Unfortunately, this was the last conversation anyone ever had with her. Her family grew concerned when more than an hour passed and she still hadn't returned home. There was no message from her about some unexpected delay, and her phone was going straight to voicemail.
Hi guys, it's Kelsey. Obviously, I can't come to the phone right now. Leave me a message. Bye.
Kelsey was the kind of person who would call her parents even if she was just a few minutes late. So for her to disappear like this was highly unusual. Around the same time, John also showed up at Kelsey's house to pick her up for their date. Unfortunately, he didn't know anything about her whereabouts either. Fearing the worst, her family filed a missing person report. Meanwhile, her sister and John started looking for her around town, desperately hoping that she was just stranded somewhere due to something minor like car trouble. And while they finally found a lead, it raised more questions than it answered. They were searching the area surrounding the Target when they spotted her car parked outside the Macy's on the opposite side of the Oak Park Mall about half a mile from her last known location. This was already strange enough on its own. However, the most concerning part was the condition they found it in. It was fully unlocked, and the only thing missing from it besides Kelsey herself was her phone. All of her belongings, including her purse and the gift she bought for John hours earlier, were still in the car, which begged the question, what could have possibly caused her to abandon her car in this state? Fortunately, Macy's had a CCTV camera pointed at the parking lot, allowing investigators to acquire the footage and analyze it for potential clues. However, nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to uncover. CCTV footage showed the car pull into the lot at 9:17 p.m., over 2 hours after Kelsey was last heard from. However, instead of Kelsey, an unknown man wearing a white t-shirt got out of the driver's side door and quickly fled the scene. Unfortunately, the footage was too blurry to see any identifying features besides his clothes. What investigators didn't know at the time was the color of his shirt would prove crucial in this investigation. But for now, the focus was on finding Kelsey before it was too late. The next step in their investigation was to analyze the last known footage of Kelsey shopping at the Target. Unfortunately, this footage didn't show anything unusual, at least at first glance. Target's surveillance system had captured her entire shopping trip. Everything from entering the building, to calling her mother, buying the gift, and then leaving in her car. However, while doing a frame-by-frame analysis, one of the detectives noticed a tiny anomaly near the end of the footage. As she was about to get in her car, the camera captured what looked like a man in a white t-shirt running toward her at the last second. There was a strong chance that this was the same man who would later abandon her car in the Macy's parking lot hours later. With this newfound knowledge, investigators watched the footage again, and this time they noticed something even more horrific. As Kelsey was browsing through the store, a man in a white t-shirt could be seen stalking her through every aisle. He kept following her until she was about to pay for her items, and then rushed out of the store before her, likely so he could ambush her as she was getting in her car. Fortunately, the entrance camera managed to capture the only somewhat usable image of his face, allowing investigators to set up a tip line for anyone who knew him. Another camera also captured the make and model of his truck when he arrived at the store minutes earlier. This narrowed down the search considerably. All they needed now was information on who this man was. And after sifting through hundreds of false reports, investigators finally received a tip from someone claiming to be his neighbor. They recognized his face and truck on...
Nigga, like, just imagine, bro. The shit that's fucking with me is like you just going to a regular fucking run to the store. Like just imagine it's like you going to grab some Subway, bro, KFC, Taco Bell. Watching you go make a run to the store right quick. That bothers me. It's just like, cause you never know, bro. You know what I'm saying? This dude just with bad intentions. You know what I'm saying? Just you don't know who's in the store, bro. He's just plotting and watching, bro. Watching this whole time. It's like, that's crazy, bro. Yeah. It's like, I understand now, bro. I remember when Berlizzi was doing a story time when he was playing this game. And he said he was out with Walmart with Christology. If y'all know Christology is in Sun Bros. And she was like everything, like as far as being alone with a small girl like her, she's like probably 100 pounds, just being a small girl and a girl in general is terrifying because you never know what to set up. You never know if like they have some weirdos out there just trying to spot people for, you know what I'm saying, like human trafficking purposes. Like literally they can like have like a decoy grandma be over there just like acting like, oh, I need help with my bags. You start helping her with the bags. They throw you in a van you never seen again. And Berlizzi was like, I finally now understand, bro, the fear of like, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you know what I'm saying? Me and Berlizzi, we like 6'5", 6'4", you know what I'm saying? Big dudes. We not scared and worried about somebody abducting us. But think about the fear, everyday fear of some sick fuck like this, bro. Of a random girl just walking into Target, Walmart to get fucking soap, a gift. It could be anything. And some weirdo just stalking you. And the next thing you know, you're dead. You literally get ambushed walking from Target. And it's a regular day to you. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
TV and immediately called the police. Not long after, officers arrested 26-year-old Edwin Hall at his home. He was getting ready to leave the state for a supposed vacation with his wife and kids. Fortunately, officers were able to reach him before he fled. Though, to their surprise, Edwin confessed to being at the location without any pushback and even confirmed that he was the one in the CCTV footage. But he also denied having anything to do with Kelsey. Luckily, his lie did not last long. Investigators had actually found a single unknown fingerprint on the seatbelt latch of Kelsey's car when searching through it earlier. However, it didn't match any print they had on record. But with Edwin's arrest, they were able to take his fingerprints, which turned out to be a perfect match for the one found in Kelsey's car. The same day, police also found Kelsey's remains near a lake in Missouri, about 20 miles from the target. None of which would have been possible if Kelsey's last shopping trip hadn't been captured by Target's surveillance system. Edwin was charged with the kidnapping and murder of Kelsey Smith and stood trial in July 2008.
Sir,
he pled guilty.
Sir, you have a wife and kids, sir. Like, why? You have a wife and kids, sir. Why do you need to be out in Target looking to murder? Like, bro, what are we talking about?
To all charges to avoid the death penalty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
I hope they do bad things to you in prison, bro. I'm hoping on that shit, bro.
So the dumbass who watches their shows like this,
and then like just imagine, bro, just a sick dude. Just imagine your wife and fucking kids. He didn't say they were divorced. He was currently married to a woman, and he had kids, bro. And she did not know that the dude she was married to is just a bunch of a sick fuck, bro. Like, that's crazy. I know how crazy it is. She has to find out this way that this dude just fucking assaulted this chick for no reason? Why?
The possibility of parole.
Bro, why? Like, why?
On the night of Valentine's Day 2017, a home security camera installed outside the house of 35-year-old Ellie Tran showed her returning home from work and pulling into the driveway, unaware that a dangerous stalker was hiding just outside the camera's view, waiting for the right opportunity to attack. As soon as she got out of the car, the stalker lunged at her from behind the bushes and tackled her to the ground before running away on foot just seconds later. And while Ellie looked mostly unharmed at first, the attacker had actually injected her with a cyanide-filled syringe while she was on the ground.
Why?
Which, for those who don't know, is one of the deadliest poisons on Earth.
Oh, shit,
what made this situation even worse was the fact that this wasn't a crazed stalker or a random serial killer. Instead, this was 30-year-old Joseph Merlino III, Ellie's ex-boyfriend, and someone she had a 2-year-old daughter with. The two got into a relationship sometime in late 2013, and things started off quite well. However, Joseph started becoming aggressive when Ellie became pregnant and invited her parents to live with her. You see, Ellie had actually immigrated to the U.S. from Vietnam before meeting Joseph.
Okay.
She wanted to build a stable life in the U.S. with Joseph and their child, but she also wanted her parents to be a part of this new life. So, in 2014, she flew her parents to the U.S. and gave them a place at her and Joseph's home. This became a major point of contention between the couple, with Joseph becoming more and more aggressive with each passing day. Things escalated to the point of physical violence by mid-2016, forcing Ellie to break up with Joseph and get a restraining order against him. She also kept full custody of their daughter. However, Ellie knew that Joseph wasn't going to leave her alone so easily. She lived in constant fear that he would one day show up and take their daughter from her, which was the only reason she installed security cameras both inside and outside her home. But even Ellie couldn't have predicted the lengths Joseph was willing to go for revenge. Immediately after the attack on February 14, Ellie tried to get inside and call 911. She didn't know exactly what had happened, but she knew he had injected something into her leg. But she passed away before making that call. Luckily, her mother saw everything, including Joseph's face as he was running away. She called emergency services, and Ellie was rushed to a nearby hospital.
She died, though.
Unfortunately, it was already too late. Cyanide prevents cells from using oxygen, which is needed to keep them alive. The cells can no longer produce energy, and vital organs like the heart and brain start failing rapidly, leading to a state of internal suffocation, even if the person is breathing. By the time Ellie reached the hospital, she had already suffered severe brain damage. She was pronounced brain dead shortly afterward, forcing her parents to make the painful decision of cutting off her life support. The home security footage, alongside the statement from Ellie's mother, allowed investigators to zero in on Joseph and arrest him just 3 days later on February 17th. They also searched his home and found several other dangerous items, like guns and materials for making explosives. However, despite the evidence, Joseph tried to claim that he was in a different city on the night of the murder, and that the person in the home security footage was someone else. However, the prosecution didn't believe any of it. Phone records proved that his statement about being in a different city was a complete lie. More importantly, prosecutors were able to prove that the murder was fully premeditated. Forensic analysis of his internet traffic revealed that leading up to the crime, he had searched terms like, how many milligrams of cyanide will kill you? What if cyanide gets in the bloodstream? And what if cyanide gets injected? Investigators were also able to track down the people he purchased cyanide in the syringe from on marketplaces like eBay and Etsy. However, the most damning evidence proving his sinister motives came from an incident that happened back in December 2016. According to Ellie's mother, Ellie was coming home from work one day when suddenly a man approached her and threw an unknown chemical on her. Thankfully, the chemical only burned her hair and caused minor burns on her scalp, allowing her to recover without any permanent injuries. Ellie later told her mother that she believed the attacker was Joseph. This showed that Joseph was coming up with ways of harming Ellie even before the lethal attack. Joseph, however, stayed adamant that he was innocent and even went on a hunger strike for a few months before his trial. Prosecutors believe he did this to lose a lot of weight and look significantly different from how he looked in the security camera footage, possibly hoping to trick the jury into handing out an innocent verdict. Unfortunately for him, this plan failed as well. He stood trial in December 2018 and was sentenced to life in prison.
Fuck it, boy. Your life
On the 12th of May 2022, a government inspector was doing a land survey in the wooded area surrounding the National Guard Armory in Wadesboro, North Carolina. But partway through the survey, the inspector discovered the last thing he was expecting behind the armory, a complete human skeleton. The only other items nearby were a black top and a pair of women's leggings, indicating that this skeleton likely belonged to a woman. Further inspection of the remains also confirmed that she had likely passed away somewhere between 9 months and a year ago. Now, this was a major discovery, especially because it happened in a not-so-secluded area near a government building and a high school. There was also a strong chance that this person either got lost in the woods or was placed there by someone trying to hide their crime. Either way, it would have been best to make the finding public and enlist the public's help in identifying the person. But for unknown reasons, the Wadesboro Police Department did not report it publicly. It wasn't until January 2024 that this case received its first major update. Someone from the Wadesboro area came forward with disturbing images their trail camera had captured back on August 21, 2021, close to the armory. They showed a woman, possibly in her mid to late 30s, walking alone in the forest very early in the morning.
What?
She was barefoot and was struggling to walk while using a stick for support. Her leggings and support stick were also wet up to her knees, suggesting she might have walked through the creek just south of the trail cam. More importantly, she was wearing the same top and leggings the surveyor would find alongside the skeletal remains about 9 months later. However, while the trail cam footage gave a face to the remains, investigators were still no closer to identifying her. She didn't match any missing person reports in the area, leaving investigators with no clear leads to follow. With no other option, authorities uploaded the trail cam images alongside any information they had on the National Missing Persons database, which turned out to be the correct move. Not long after the case gained traction online, the woman was identified as Amber Ray Johnston, who was 36 years old when she went missing back in August 2021. This trail cam footage was the last time she was seen alive. Her mother recognized her after coming across the images online. A DNA test in March 2025 also confirmed that the skeletal remains belonged to her daughter, Amber. The only question that remained now was what happened to Amber? How did she end up in Wadesboro, North Carolina, over 2,200 miles from her home in Bullhead City, Arizona? Unfortunately, the answer to this question would turn out to be far more complex than the investigators might have expected. Amber's story began in Bullhead City, Arizona, where she was in an emotionally and physically abusive relationship with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Jarrett Ward. Both Jarrett and Amber also had a severe substance abuse problem, which only made their relationship worse. They eventually broke up in the summer of 2021, and Jarrett went back to his hometown in South Carolina. During this time, authorities had their first strange encounter with Amber. On the 8th of August, at around 8 a.m., she apparently went swimming with someone she had just met. He stayed behind on the water's edge while Amber dove in, leaving her ID and clothes behind in his care. He went back to get a life jacket for himself, but when he returned, Amber was nowhere to be seen. Assuming that she might have drowned, he contacted the police, who began a search and rescue mission immediately. However, just hours into the search, police received a call from Amber's landlady stating that she returned home safe. Then, in mid-August, she got on a Greyhound bus and started traveling east. It's unclear if she was going back to her mother's place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or if she was planning on visiting Jarrett in South Carolina. However, she didn't reach either of these destinations. Witnesses saw her purchasing a bus ticket in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on August 17, 2021. And that was the last time Amber was ever seen alive. The last ping from her phone came from Charlotte on August 19, 2021. 3 days after that, she was captured by the trail camera in Wadesboro, over 90 miles from Winston-Salem, before disappearing completely until her remains were discovered 9 months later. However, how she reached Wadesboro or why she went there in the first place remains a mystery to this day. The most puzzling part of her case is that authorities still haven't considered any foul play in her disappearance and death, even though there are countless signs strongly pointing towards that possibility. The biggest of which are her SNAP food stamps and credit card, both of which were used by other people, including Jarrett, after her supposed death. She had actually told her mother about Jarrett stealing her credit card to purchase drugs in the past. So, him somehow getting a hold of it and using it for online purchases after her death should have made him the #1 suspect. Unfortunately, Jarrett passed away himself from an overdose in 2022, leaving investigators with no lead to follow. The second strange sign is a travel video that was posted to her Facebook account on August 18, showing the bus traveling through Birmingham, Alabama, even though phone records showed that she was in Charlotte, North Carolina the next day. It's possible someone else posted this older travel video on her account to throw off anyone looking for her, but there's no way for us to confirm or deny that theory. It also makes little to no sense for Amber to get lost and lose her life in a patch of woods that's surrounded by a government building, a high school, a hospital, and several restaurants and convenience stores, all within walking distance. Lastly, her lack of proper clothing and use of a walking stick in the trail cam footage also points to something far more sinister than her just getting lost in the woods. Unfortunately, with the primary suspect now passed away himself, the truth of what happened to Amber in August 2021 will likely never come out.
Drugs, y'all. Don't ever do drugs. Don't ever do
But in
drugs.
Cialis, they increase blood flow down there. That's why you can physically perform it, but they do nothing for a
On the morning of January 25, 2019, Elizabeth Barraza, known to her friends as just Liz, woke up early to set up a garage sale outside her suburban home in Tomball, Texas. She lived there with her husband, Sergio, and the two had been happily married for nearly 5 years. Their 5th anniversary was also just a few days away, and they had planned to spend the occasion visiting Universal and Disney parks in Florida. They were both massive fans of franchises like Harry Potter and Star Wars, so this was the perfect plan for their special day. Tragically, Liz never lived to see this day she had been looking forward to. As she was setting up the garage sale, security cameras from around the neighborhood captured a black truck driving in and parking a few lots down from Liz's house. The driver of this truck then got out, approached Liz in her driveway, and started talking to her about something at around 6:58 a.m. Her doorbell camera recorded her saying good morning to this person in a way that made it seem like she didn't know who they were. But then, just a few seconds later, unprompted, the person took out a firearm and opened fire, shooting Liz 4 different times before running back to their truck and driving away. 3 different neighbors called 911 seconds after hearing the gunshots. First responders arrived just a few minutes later and rushed Liz to a nearby hospital. Unfortunately, the damage was too severe, resulting in her passing away shortly after arriving. The video footage captured the whole incident, but it wasn't clear enough to pick up any identifying features. However, as the investigation went on, the biggest issue that confused the authorities was the complete lack of a logical motive. First of all, this wasn't a robbery or something along those lines. The killer didn't take anything and just ran off after committing the crime. More importantly, the way they made sure to shoot her one more time after she had already fallen to the ground made it seem like this was a deliberate hit, almost as if someone had sent a hitman after her. However, investigators couldn't find any reason why someone would do that. Everyone who knew Liz described her as the brightest person they knew. She wanted nothing more than to see others happy and even spend her free time cosplaying as a stormtrooper and visiting children's hospitals to cheer them up. Security footage from around the neighborhood also showed the killer driving around her home and staying in nearby parking lots hours before the crime. The timing of the crime was also quite suspicious. It happened just 4 minutes after Sergio had left for work. Whoever the killer was, they knew the couple's schedules. Liz had also not told anyone about the garage sale beforehand, so there was no way for some random person to know that she would be alone outside at that time. This precise timing pretty much ruled out the possibility of a serial killer taking advantage of the opportunity, bringing authorities back to square one. The only possible lead they had was her husband, Sergio, and for a good reason. Spouses are often involved in these types of murders, especially when infidelity is involved. Putting Sergio as the mastermind could also explain how the killer knew about the garage sale and the exact time Sergio would leave for work. However, after thorough investigation, the police found no evidence of Sergio's involvement. Their marriage was simply too perfect and problem-free for him to have any reason to take her life, leaving the mystery of Elizabeth Barraza's death completely unsolved to this day.
To this day, a random person just got away with shooting her at 8 in the morning. That's crazy.
February 2021 started off as a particularly cold month for the residents of the small town of Plains Township, Pennsylvania. A blizzard the night before had deposited over 30 inches of snow across the region, forcing most of its residents to shovel snow from their driveways if they wanted to get their cars out. However, for a local couple, 50-year-old James Goy and 48-year-old Lisa Goy, this simple activity proved lethal when they got into an argument with their neighbor across the street named Jeffrey Spade. The fight had started with Jeffrey accusing the couple of dumping snow too close to his house. A home security camera outside James and Lisa's home captured the argument as it escalated, with both groups hurling increasingly demeaning insults and curses at each other. In the heat of the moment, Jeffrey threatened the couple's lives before returning to his home. Normally, this would have been where the argument ended. However, Jeffrey had something much more drastic in mind. Seconds later, he came back with a firearm and opened fire, hitting the couple multiple times. He kept shooting until he ran out of ammunition. But after seeing that both James and Lisa were still alive, he went back inside and returned with a different firearm and took their lives at point-blank range. By the time first responders arrived at the scene, both Lisa and James had already passed away. But that wasn't all. Police entered Jeffrey's home to arrest him for his crime. However, Jeffrey, understanding the drastic, irreversible decision he had just made, likely didn't want to spend the rest of his life behind bars. So, after ending James and Lisa, he ended everything for himself as well, ending the investigation before it even began.
He had some other shit going on, bro. For him to, like, point blank, it was over some snow. This man probably, his wife was probably cheating on him, the girl he loved, like, his girl, the girl he didn't have a wife, the girl he was in love with at work. That bitch is like, she chose Kevin. This nigga Kevin just got a promotion, bro. He can't stand Kevin at work, bro. Everything was just going bad for him. So like, he was just like, fuck it, y'all arguing about snow, I'm gonna fuck you, bro. Yeah, people like that, bro. The crazy thing is that in the footage they were still talking crazy while on the ground shot. That's wild, bro. You got people be going out there looking for confrontations like this, bro. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta let people, say if somebody come at you crazy, sometimes you gotta let that shit slide, bro. Some people be walking out the house like, my life is miserable, bro. Let me take somebody's life and let me go down with them type of energy. People walk around like that, bro.
On the morning of February 12, 1993, Denise Bolger was visiting the New Strand Shopping Center in Bootle, England with her 2-year-old son, James. At one point during shopping, she let go of James's hand for a split second to pay. But when she looked back, James had vanished without making a sound. In a panic, she immediately began looking for him, hoping that he was just wandering around the shopping center. However, James was nowhere to be found. She also called the police, who arrived within minutes and started searching for James in the streets surrounding the area. Over the next 2 days, more than 100 officers searched the streets of Bootle while helicopter teams searched across the canal. Unfortunately, despite their combined efforts, they didn't find a single clue that could lead them to James. However, what looked like a simple missing child case at first would turn out to be one of the most disturbing crimes of the 20th century. The truth came out on February 14th when a group of young boys discovered James's remains on a railway track 2.5 miles from the shopping center. His body had been sliced in half by a passing train.
Oh my God.
However, that was only the tip of the iceberg. A later autopsy report revealed that James had a total of 42 injuries across his body, including 10 skull fractures and much more. While the graphic details of James's state are too gruesome for YouTube, they can only be described as an act of pure, inhuman cruelty. Someone had spent a long time inflicting pain on the poor boy before he inevitably passed away from the injuries. However, the most shocking revelation of the case was yet to come. With the discovery of James's remains, the focus then shifted to uncovering and catching the person or persons responsible. Fortunately, the shopping center had CCTV cameras around the facility, and after scouring through the footage, investigators finally found their first solid lead. One of the cameras had captured the culprit taking James out of the shopping center, but it wasn't an adult as most would have suspected. Instead, James was seen being led away by 2 strikingly young boys. Footage from other cameras showed the 2 boys just hanging around the shopping center and shoplifting things like candy, toys, and paint. Then, at 3:42 p.m., they guided James away from his mother and took him outside. But there was no way for the investigators to identify the 2 boys on their own, so they released some of the enhanced footage on TV, resulting in a woman recognizing them and calling the station. On February 18, 6 days after James's murder, police arrested 10-year-old John Venables and Robert Thompson from their homes. What followed was an extensive 20-hour-long interrogation where the 2 initially tried to deny everything. But after some pressure, John buckled and confessed, stating, "I killed James. I did it. We did it. Will you tell his mom I'm sorry?"
Why?
Police also interviewed around 38 witnesses who saw James with John and Robert that evening to get a full picture of what happened. John and Robert skipped school on February 12th and went to the shopping center with the express purpose of abducting a child. As one of them later confessed, they were planning to take James near a busy road and push him into oncoming traffic. But somewhere between taking him from his mother and going out, their plan took a turn for the worst. They took him to the railway track instead. Once alone, they forced James to endure the unimaginable until he finally passed away.
Oh my gosh, bro. Y'all are sick. This is 1993. What was happening in your childhood in 1993 at bro, the little boy was like what 3, 5 years old? Y'all like 10, 11 years old in 1993? Nigga, did The Lion King not come out? Did y'all need a chance to watch Disney movies? Like, how did the kids get mentally cooked in 19... I wasn't even born yet, bro. I got born in September 1993. This was in February. How can y'all be this sick? What, bro? And the thing is, I just can't believe that there's no way you can't just be born and just no, you can't just be born like this. No, you have to endure some sick shit. The parents probably hate you. You got abused and bullied. You had to been watching some Freddy Krueger shit from birth. I mean, from baby, you have to be watching some Freddy Krueger shit. For the fact that you had 11, bro, you have to be watching some Jason X shit, bro. You have to be watching Michael Myers shit every single day. From the moment you were born until 10 years old, to be this fucked up in the head, to think it was okay to skip school and abuse a kid. It's a little kid, bro. And these motherfuckers right here, they'll in 1993 they'll be like, oh, y'all get 28 years in life. They're fucking 10. 28 years mean they'll get out when they're 38. Oh, and when you're 38, we're gonna give you a chance to live in society. Fuck no. These motherfuckers was this sick in 1919 something, bro. There is no remorse. Let them rot in jail. That's just me, bro. I don't care if they became better people when they get out of jail. These people shouldn't be walking the earth.
They then dragged his remains onto the train tracks to make his death look like an accident before going back home. Because they demonstrated a clear understanding of the wrongness of their crimes, John and Robert faced a full adult trial in November 1993. And the evidence against them was overwhelming. Investigators found drops of James's blood on their clothes, imprints of their shoes on his body, and much, much more, leaving no doubt about their guilt. They were found guilty and became the youngest convicted murderers of the 20th century. Though, despite their adult trial, their sentence was still in line with their age. They were sentenced to indefinite detention with a minimum of 8 years behind bars. After 8 years, in 2001, John Venables was released with a new identity to protect him from public retribution. But he has been repeatedly recalled to prison for breaching his parole conditions and was found to still pose a danger to children. Robert Thompson...
This nigga still's fucked up. They allow him to walk out years later, and this nigga still is a problem to little kids. He is fucked up. Man, put these people in some mental institutions after all these years. Mental institutions that help these people. Motherfuckers like him, put them motherfuckers behind bars and let them die in prison. One on the left is still cooked.
Remains free on license and has not been known to reoffend since his initial release.
The nigga on the left look like a sick fuck. I ain't gonna lie. The nigga on the left look like a sick fuck. And he mean it though. He gonna be a sick fucking bastard, fucking asshole. This some sick shit, bro. Should wanna hope the dude on the right is still better since he didn't do anything else bad. I don't, bro. But you gotta understand, even through all that, you still gotta live with that shit though, bro. That's a sick crime, bro. They did that shit. And then, like they said, they thoroughly thought that shit through. It wasn't like a spur of the moment thing. It wasn't like, oh, we watched Michael Myers do this shit on TV last night, and we thought it was cool, so we just wanted to do it. We didn't know it was wrong. They knew what was going on. They knew it. They're sick. They're sick, bro. So, like, even then, even if he escaped and he don't do nothing else for the rest of his life, he's going to have to live with the fact that he murdered that little boy. You know what I'm saying? And he gets the opportunity to, motherfucker gets the opportunity to be like, yeah, I get to live a different life with a different name, and witness protection. That way people don't come for my head. Bullshit. Any signs of a kid being on a psychotic time while development needs to be therapy quick so they can be saved. People's not past redemption, but I just feel like it's just how people was raised. It has to be. It has to be how people are raised. This Ava Loop, I don't know how long the video is. It's Nick Crowley. The serial killer who chose the worst targets. Which one of these is the shortest? Skip the beam. So which one of these is the shortest?
And of course, it's tough to put on, but it's supposed to be like
the Cheetah Incident. In 1993.
Alright, fuck it. Let's watch this one, bro. Then we're gonna end stream. We'll issue after this one. Okay, serial killers who chose the wrong targets. This might be entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Serial killer out there, bro, thinking they got to fuck with a certain person, and they ran into somebody who can handle their own. Interesting. Let's get into it.
The Cheetah Incident. In 1993, at a club in California, a demon prowled the venue.
A demon?
Unbeknownst to many, the Grim Sleeper, a man who'd ended the lives of 10 women, was searching for his next victim while everybody else was drinking and having fun. He noticed an African-American girl that seemed annoyed and upset so he walked over to her to figure out what was wrong. The lady told him that she was invited out to play dominoes, but everybody there kept offering her drinks and telling her to club when she wasn't a drinker. It was extremely late, and she was tired and wanted to go home, so the grim sleeper pointed to his vehicle outside. He told her that he has a car, and if she really wanted to go home that badly, he could just take her. Delighted, the woman sprung out of her seat and followed the dangerous criminal back to his car. She got in first, and he shut her door like a gentleman. Then he got into the driver's seat and began taking her to her house. After a while, she told him to make a right turn to her house, but he ignored her. Confused, she repeated herself. "You're supposed to make a right over there, not a left." Realizing the criminal was no longer responding, the lady quickly went to open the door to get out of the car, but it was then that she finally realized that the door didn't have a handle on the inside. She was literally trapped in the car. Becoming filled with joy, the monster finally revealed his intentions to the woman, and as you could probably guess, they were horrible and evil. But there was only one problem with his plan. The woman he was talking to wasn't any ordinary person. The grim sleeper had accidentally trapped himself inside a car with the cheetah, also known as the most dangerous woman in the world, a title that would be given to her just 1 year later as she'd go on to win the 1994 kickboxing championship. When she was young, she was ruthlessly bullied and chased around the town. Her uncle was a martial arts master, and unknown to the grim sleeper, her uncle forced her to fight him every single day in order to get a black belt. At the end of the day, whenever she finished practicing with her colleagues and got ready to leave, her uncle, also known as Master Quiet Storm, would lock the door with a key, and if she wanted to exit the dojo, she'd have to beat him in combat and forcefully pry the keys out of his hands. She did this every single day as a kid. As the criminal asked her to comply with his sick demands, she told him no. As you could guess, this angered the psychopath, so he swung at her with his full might. But immediately she blocked his punch and spun back with a devastating counterpunch, striking him straight in his face. "Oh, so you're a fighting type," he said as he smiled. The woman quickly jumped into the back seat of the van, and he followed after her, which would go on to prove to be his worst mistake. Once he was trapped in the trunk of the van with the professional champion kickboxer, she unleashed a hellish attack on him. He tried to tackle her, but she grabbed his shirt and swung him around in the trunk of the van, smashing his head against the inside of the vehicle. She then flipped his shirt over his head while unloading a flurry of non-stop punches to his face, causing him to fall backwards on his butt. At this point, the girl noticed that his pants were unbuckled and falling down, so while they were still in the trunk, she stomped on his chest and grabbed his, and pulled them so high that she thought she ripped them off of him. The grim sleeper shrieked like a banshee and began crying out in pain. He quickly gave her the keys to unlock the van and escape. But before she left, while still pulling his royal jewels, she told him, "When I say no, it means no," before delivering a nasty right hook to the crying man, nearly knocking him out.
You call the police?
She took the keys, unlocked the trunk of the van, and quickly escaped while throwing the keys away so that he couldn't follow her. Fredia Gibbs would go on to win her first championship after that year, officially titling her as the most dangerous woman alive. And years later, the grim sleeper would later be caught and arrested in 2010 because of an eaten pizza crust he left at a crime scene.
This nigga was a black.
When a bitch says no, she means no, and I walked it, bam, then I left.
The Night Stalker. In the summer of 1985, the city of Los Angeles became...
Why let him walk around the earth still fucking over other people that don't know how to fight? You whooped his ass, bro, like, call the police. I don't know, bro. That shit felt like it was. I know the video might be true, but like, I feel like this shit's, I don't know.
Gripped by fear. Night after night, a mysterious intruder slipped silently into homes across Southern California. He struck in darkness, often entering through unlocked doors or open windows while families slept, and he did the absolute unthinkable to his targets. If there was a man in the house he broke into, he would immediately just end them, then he would attack and assault the man's family, often carving evil imagery into women and anybody else in the house, and then he would stab them until they perished. Victims described him as a thin, satanic man that had wild eyes and reeked of sweat and cigarettes. Police didn't know his name yet, but the media soon gave him one, the Night Stalker. This individual had 15 victims tied to his name, and he by all means was a top priority to officers in the nearby counties. On August 31st, 1985, he casually strolled into a nearby convenience store to pick up a beverage because he was thirsty. and right next to the drink he was grabbing, he noticed a rack of newspapers that all had a wanted poster of his face on it. He immediately panicked and darted out of the doors, looking for an individual to target and carjack so that he could leave the area. The criminal jumped into the car of a 28-year-old woman named Angelina. Without wasting a second, he began to punch her in the stomach and forcefully steal her car from her. What the Night Stalker failed to notice is that her neighbor was nearby watching it happen, and he also had huge balls. As the neighbor ran over to help Angelina, the Night Stalker told him to stay back and warned him that he had a gun. The 50-year-old neighbor called his bluff and ripped the scumbag right out of the car. And it was at this point that this man had realized that he'd chosen the absolute worst neighborhood to do a carjacking in, because he instantly found himself surrounded by a huge, angry mob. Everybody in the neighborhood knew who he was. They knew all of his crimes, and worst of all, they weren't police officers, so their idea of justice wasn't jail, it was death. The crowd of people beat him viciously. Angelina's husband...
They did not just use a Tom and Jerry sound effect. This dude, who, bro? A talking hat? Bro, this nigga fucking wild. This dude put the Tom and Jerry sound effect when this man was getting jumped. They beating this man to death. They beat him to death. And then they got the Tom and Jerry. Oh, shit. Oh, rewind it, bro.
Ripped to steal. They knew all of his crimes, and worst of all, they weren't police officers, so their idea of justice wasn't jail, it was death. The crowd of people beat him viciously. Angelina's husband ripped a steel rod out of a metal fence and began smashing his head with it, while another neighbor attacked him with a makeshift spear made out of barbecue.
They on your ass, bro.
Multiple people grabbed and tugged at
They're
him in
on
different
your
directions,
ass.
beating him senselessly with anything they could find. They beat him so bad that when police showed up, he began crying out, "I did it! It's me!" begging them to arrest him.
You think that he was like, yo, please get me away from those people now. They got me so bad. It's me.
Begging them to arrest him. Reports state that once he was arrested, he began speaking Spanish to himself, saying, "Thank goodness the police came and arrested me. I'm so lucky." When he was taken to the police station, a crowd of 500 people surrounded the building chanting, "Kill him," in unison. He would go on to receive 19 death sentences. However, he would pass away from cancer at 53 years old in 2013. Honestly, if I was the cop tasked with arresting him that day, I probably would have just driven around in circles and pretended like I couldn't find him, so that he could spend some more time with the crowd of victims he had been terrorizing for the past year.
Richard Ramirez.
The crash-out incident. While most either don't know or just don't believe it, this man is a serial killer. Allegedly. He grew up in the Parkway Gardens, an area that would later on become named O Block, which is named after his close friend and mentor, OD, when he was murdered. A little later, Pontoon, another one of his friends, would pass away in the same way. And, I should probably mention that his father was also murdered when he was alive. But he still had a brother-like figure that he kept around as a close friend, White, except not really, because in 2012, White would pass away on Von's 18th birthday, right in front of him at a gas station. It's important to note that it was this specific traumatic incident that caused him to become a serial killer, as after this moment, he would later on be connected to over 10 or 11 murders throughout his life.
Well, I don't know
whilst
nothing
also
about
taking deep, nearly sociopathic pleasure in the lives he ended and putting it into his songs. Allegedly, of course.
This nigga
Nonetheless,
put it in his
he really
songs.
did what he rapped about in his music, which is what caused him to develop contempt for another popular up-and-coming artist in his industry, Young Boy. Von took a lot of pride in the crimes he committed, especially since it was what eventually made him become popular and successful. Young Boy, in a lot of ways, is similar to Von, but Von didn't believe that he actually did any of the things he rapped about. So for him to see another artist getting more virality than him, when he believed he was a fraud, quietly upset him. And so, completely unprovoked, he'd go on to publicly say that Young Boy lies in his music online.
You got cap in your raps.
You got cap in your raps. This would start a pretty petty back and forth between the two young men. Von would begin flirting with the mother of Young Boy's kids. Young Boy would flirt with Von's ex, then they sent disses at each other, and blah blah blah.
Niggas
You get the
just being
gist.
stupid.
Despite the clear animosity between the two individuals, Von would go on to say that there was no bad blood between him and Young Boy at all, which would later on prove to be obviously untrue. On November 5th, 2020, he would get up, hop into his bulletproof Hellcat, and head out to a club to perform his show along with 8 other cars that were guarding and following him. At the club, despite everything seeming normal and fun at first, people close to Davon noticed that he seemed off. The man frequently mentioned paranoia and feeling like the spirits of the lives he ended were always watching him. Many people said he could switch from being calm, collected, and silly to seeming very off or sociopathic. A lot of people generally started to believe that he might have had a literal demon living inside of him, or something seriously wrong with his head, and it was noted that he was allegedly given inside information that one of Youngboy's friends was at a nearby club that was extremely close to him. This friend's name is Quando Rondo. After he finished performing at his show, he and his entourage got up, went inside of their cars, and headed back home to call it a day. However, suddenly the security guards noticed that Von's car had gone missing. He made a detour to the club that Quando Rondo was at and waited patiently. His entourage later on showed up and found Von. After regrouping with him, they put all of their weapons away inside of the car and got ready to head inside of the club. But it was at this moment that one of Von's associates located the person he was looking for. As Quando Rondo was leaving the club, Von bumped into him head-on and began to beat him ruthlessly. The man was terrified, later stating that he didn't even know who was fighting him, but once he realized it was Von, it felt like the devil or a demon was attacking him.
It's like I had an out-of-body experience. Like, it's like the devil was coming to get me. Like, it's like my soul, like, I can't even explain it, man.
Von was doing what he loved, and the man he was attacking was likely going to become another victim that he'd rap about in his songs. But there was just one slight mistake he made. He assumed that his target was alone, and was so laser-focused on attacking his target that he failed to realize that just 2 feet away, a random white car was full of Quando's crew, all of whom were armed. And when they saw their friend being attacked by Von, they didn't hesitate to shoot him 4 times. Even after getting injured, Von continued wrestling and attacking Quando until the two were eventually broken up by their crews. Undercover police officers ran to the scene and began calling backup. The man had 4 holes in his body, and blood was leaking everywhere inside of the car, panicking his team and friends. Nonetheless, he was still alive and conscious. He'd even go on to tell his friends to calm down because he was fine. While he was successfully delivered to the hospital, during surgery he'd suddenly shoot up awake in cold sweats. He'd throw the nurses and medical staff who were operating on his body off of him, and then began swinging at them.
And Von made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries ago. He made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said where his gun at. In a state of complete shock and panic, he began searching for his gun on the surgery table, but then froze. And suddenly, as he woke up, he collapsed from shock, marking his end. To think this situation all stemmed from about 5 or 6 words is insane. He's got pretty good music, though. The spoon incident.
I keep seeing comments like this. Love car bang, but it's so expensive.
The thing
you
is,
guys
I
lower
don't
the price.
follow,
Well, guess
like,
what? I got you.
New rap people. Like, bro, the last rap people I follow was like Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent in the past, bro. If you look at my playlist, bro, I don't have no new rappers, bro, because all them new rappers, bro, all them people, O Block and all that bullshit, them niggas just rapping about doing drugs, objectifying women. And it's not like they wasn't talking about objectifying women back then, but like, these niggas is about actually murdering people and putting it in songs, telling on themselves. It's either like drill music, and if you listen to that shit, I feel like all these dudes influence you to do the same type of shit, bro. Nobody wouldn't be listening to that. And I be talking to people in real life, and they were like, yeah, bro, I just listen to nothing but this and that. YNs be like, yeah, I just listen to nothing but this and that, bro. I'm like, bro, if you don't pull yourself out a rock band, bro, album and listen to some white people music, bro, if you don't pop up some Selena Gomez, sometimes ain't nothing wrong with that. If you don't, I don't listen to Taylor Swift, but if you don't pop in some, I don't know, bro, some Selena Carpenter or some bullshit, bro, some, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. If you don't pop up some Lion King songs right quick, bro, all these niggas, bro, trying to be hood and, like, bro, telling you, bro, that shit not worth it. It's fucking stupid. There's no honor in fucking, you know what I'm saying, killing somebody, you know what I'm saying, living by street code, where you gotta kill somebody in the rest of your life. I like some Uzi, Cardi, if those people were just 16, but not many post 2020 rappers. I don't know none of them people, bro. I'm telling you right now. None of them. I heard them, the names in past. I don't know none of them people, bro. It's like there's no honor and coolness in like killing people, because either it's like you didn't kill somebody and that's in your conscience the rest of your life if you is walking around getting away with it, and if you not, you spend the rest of your life in jail because you didn't kill somebody. and or you're gonna get killed out of revenge or what you did to somebody else. All that shit's fucking stupid.
The spoon incident. A newbie walked into the prison earlier that week, and seeing that he was fresh meat, an atrocious criminal named William Roberts decided it was time to assert some dominance over him, since he seemed like the perfect target. It's unclear exactly what sick intentions William had in mind for the man when he approached him, but what is known is that when the two interacted, the monster began to boast and brag about the most heinous crimes he had committed in an attempt to put fear into the heart of the man and make him yield to his requests. He walked up to the man's seat where he was eating, then he set down his food tray and began eating beside him. "What are you in prison for?" he said. "Because I'll let you know that I'm practically allowed to do anything I want. I'm in prison for having my way with a 4-year-old. And
What?
Look, I'm still here. So what about you? Are you here for car theft, insurance fraud,
He said, I have
reckless
only a
driving?"
4-year-old and
After
no one
sitting
can
and
kill
listening
him?
to William's monologue, the man calmly responded to his questions. "I'm a serial killer. I'm in here because I ended a man that was bragging to me about the horrible things he had done to multiple kids. I strangled him so hard that emergency responders said his face became blue like a pair of jeans, because I hate predators. They thought I was crazy, so they sent me to a mental hospital, where I bumped into another person who did the same horrible thing to kids. And so I ended him too. And now, they've sent me to this prison, and just like deja vu, I have another predator telling me the same thing. I just ended the life of another prisoner 2 hours ago. I hid his body under my bed, and I hoped I wouldn't need to do the same thing to another person for a while, but I guess I was wrong.
Killer or farmer.
William Roberts just happened to choose the absolute worst person to brag to about his crimes. He was talking to Robert Maudsley, a serial killer specifically known for only targeting predators. And in the blink of an eye, Maudsley grabbed the spoon off of his food tray and jammed it into William's face. He screamed horrifically, but Maudsley didn't stop there. He ruthlessly beat and continued to carve away at the man's face with his spoon. He stabbed him over and over again, and somehow nobody in the prison noticed what was happening at all.
Because you're a
William
pedophile.
screamed and pleaded for help until he couldn't anymore. After Maudsley was finished, he calmly walked over to a prison guard and told them that 2 prisoners would be missing from the roll call today. Extremely concerned with that ominous statement, the guards ran into Maudsley's prison cell and found the body of William and another prisoner. William's face was unrecognizable, but most horrifyingly of all, his brains were carved out of his skull with a spoon sticking out of it. The prison guards immediately believed that Maudsley must have cannibalized the man's brains, but he calmly denied the accusation and said something around the lines of, "No, I wouldn't do that, nor would I lie about it." The man would later on be placed inside of a glass box where he would go on to spend the rest of his life in solitary confinement.
Right.
Most people in life are amazing to be around, but every once in a while, there is a chance that you could bump into a psychopath, so always take precautions and always be prepared so that you too don't end up as a victim. Have a happy day.
It's crazy. If you only killing predators, hey, bro. Not saying killing people is right, bro, but predators, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sickest people, bro. Like you were like, bro. Like I was watching a video. There was a video like this before I even like clicked on start streaming tonight. They was talking about some dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, anybody that's attacking a underage kid, bro. Speaking of him, the David situation, I'm so done with the David situation. We all knew that David did that junk from a long time ago. I'm tired of watching videos talking about the David situation. That dude, they got people saying that man did that shit out of doing some demonic sacrificial ritual to stay good in Hollywood. Some people saying that he did that junk, bro, just to, like, you know what I'm saying, not get exposed that he was messing with an underage girl. Bro, he was messing with that girl since she was 11. He was like 16. What are we talking about? I don't even want to talk about that, bro. And it's like, bro, y'all be grown men, bro. Y'all can go pay for, like, play. And y'all, of all the women in the world, y'all want to mess with underage little people? Why? Like, underage people, whether it's boys or girls, the only thing you should be concerned with is growing up, watching cartoons, learning the ABC. Bro, they shouldn't have to worry about freaking predators and sick fucks, but we live in a sick fucking society, bro. A sick world where this is a day-to-day issue. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy, bro. Saying a grown man in jail Because he, to me, messing with a 4-year-old. That's why, bro, that's why when the Predators, bro, David, you're through, bro. You're through. Once you get to that prison cell, bro, not only you done killed that girl, bro, you dismembered the body, bro. Hearing what he did, the chainsaw. I didn't hear all the details. I haven't been deep into the case. I just heard the dudes on some bullshit. But yeah, it's over with, bro. Once you get in jail, bro, you're not gonna live. You're not gonna, even if you get a life sentence, I don't think you're gonna live. You know what I'm saying? All that money you got, bro, don't matter. You better make sure that money go to your family. All that money, bro, all the money you did, all these collaborations and sponsors you did, all that money is not gonna be able to save you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You will spend what's the remainder of your life, bro, because I don't know if it's gonna be death penalty. They're gonna give you life in prison, okay? And every day in prison, the people that'll get your hands on you, bro, is gonna do such bad things to you. You probably won't live a year sentence of that. They might find you dead in a cell, bro, for what you did to that girl. And it's like, there's like, bro, shit, motherfuckers is younger than my little sister. His life is ruined. He's sick, bro. This shit's just sick. And it's like, you was on video calls or on Discord with the girl, like, when she was like, bro, you were like 16, the girl was like 11 or some shit. And y'all both has evidence of y'all on, like, Discord or some shit. Like, bro, what are we talking about, bro? Like, that's it. I don't want to get into that, bro. I don't want to get into that. Alright, y'all. That's it, bro. I'm in the stream here, man. I'm gonna give you some sleep. JJ, bro, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I hope you job, bro. I don't know, bro. Like, I watch paranormal stuff all the time. Not all the time, but most of the time when I be at work. JJ, you be watching some dark shit. Or, like, if you don't watch it, you be recommending this dark shit a lot, bro. So the lady whooping the dude. So the first show was great. I mean, that was kind of funny. And the other dude getting jumped was kind of funny, but I don't know, JJ. You be watching some dark shit. You be wanting me to react to some dark, evil shit. Like, everything gotta be Mr. Nightmare, like true crime, evil ass shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie, JJ. You make me wanna go, like, watch. I don't know, bro. Like Kim Possible, like some wholesome ass, like you know what I'm saying? Some wholesome, sweet, innocent. You know what I'm saying? The world is not as fucked up as it seems type shit. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. After reacting to all this shit tonight, nah, bro. After y'all stream, I'm about to go watch some comedy stuff. I'm about to watch me a nice episode of thing. That's why I gotta mix it up with the Berleezy contemplations. Nah, I need more than Berleezy, bro. I'm glad I'm doing 6 days of 16 next week. I'm sorry, bro. I need some wholesome. There's no way, bro. Golly, JJ. This is some sick shit, bro. Like I said, like I like creepy stuff, bro. When I be at work and I'll just be like listening to some paranormal stories and I'll laugh at it and I'll be hee hee. But like most of my time, like, bro, let's say 80% of my time, 90% of my time, I'm watching just like, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of fun stuff, bro. It's like, golly, bro, I just watched 3 of these videos in a row and I'm starting to feel like, I don't know. I'm definitely better get out for here. I'm about to go turn up on some manga dub romantic things. I mean, golly, bro. Jesus Christ. We lived up in a fucked up world, bro. We live in a fucked up world. But alright, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Also want to let y'all know, quick news thing. My PlayStation Plus did get dropped off. You know what I'm saying? Bills and stuff kind of hit this time around. I don't really have the money in my account to play for my PlayStation Plus, which means all the PlayStation games I'll be playing for free, like Uncharted and stuff. I cannot get on those games and stream those until I get my PlayStation Plus back, which will be when I get paid May the 14th. We still on track to get Directive 8020. So, you know what I'm saying, we'll take a little, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna get the Uncharted series back and rolling, bro. You know what I'm saying? on the. So we'll get that back and rolling with the other stuff. But yeah, man. So if we do stream, bro, let's focus and lock in on getting these games like Yakuza Pirates in Hawaii, bro. Let's get that game knocked out, man. Been on that for a while, bro. Let's say we might stream Sleeping Dogs. But my Xbox is gonna be to my Twitch account, so I have to stream Sleeping Dogs, you know, to upload it to YouTube. Whatever. Alright, bro. Yeah, that's it, bro. Let me go give me some sleep now, lay down. Go watch some good stuff, because dude JJ got me watching crazy shit right now. I'm out, bro.